And we're live. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 31 of The Trade, making comics for the print and web. I am your host, Melony, of ornamentalcomic.com. And with me tonight is Kelly Bastow of mooseclinics.tumblr.com.
Hi.
Yay! Tonight is just a general bitch and bullshit session. As I've warned people before, time and again, we do talk like adults on here. So guess what? We curse. We say words like fuck and shit. So
Trigger warning.
if you're triggered by this, if you're underage, there are other things for you, plenty of things out there on the internet for you to watch and listen. So go have fun with those, okay? These are the adults talking. All right, today we're just gonna generally hang out. We're gonna talk about some, general comics, news that's out there. I mean, there's always things in any industry that affects the world, be it a large ripple or a small. And tonight I was wanting to talk a little bit about Charlie Hebdo and the shit that went down with their magazine. Now, they're a French magazine. It's basically like a tabloid rag in essence. But they poke a sharp stick at politics, at religion, at a lot of things because they find a lot of hypocrisy out there. And they're not shy about pointing it out. And they want people to realize what's out there, why it's out there, and, question it. That's the biggest thing. And I understand why the violence happened to them, their offices, the first time they were firebombed and the second time here where there's terrible killings. But it doesn't give anybody the right to do that. You can disagree with them. If they slander you, take them to court. That's what the court systems in just about any country are set up for. But to physically harm another person just because you don't like a cartoon they drew, a article they wrote about you, is bullshit. You need to have enough of an open mind to be able to live and flex with this world. And I know there are a lot of people that are not at all flexible. Kelly, what are your thoughts on it overall?
I don't know that much about it, so I'm probably gonna sound like an idiot just talking out of my ass here. But if they're criticizing anything and everything, I don't know. They're, like you say, it's just they're poking stuff at things they find hypocritical, and terrible about, politics, religion. They criticize everybody. I don't know. I just think it's terrible that people got killed over a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they were pointing out the hypocrisy of Muhammad and their religion, and yes, people don't like that, and that's fine. Write a stern letter, show your distaste, don't, boycott the magazine, that's fine. That's civilized behavior. But to go kill somebody over something you don't agree with is as stupid as not liking somebody eating a donut because you're on a diet. It's nonsensical.
Yeah, absolutely.
But overall, censorship has been getting worse lately, I think. At least in the media, that regardless of what media sources you go through, it seems to be getting worse.
Absolutely.
More and more. Oh, go ahead.
People are just getting offended at comedy. I'm a big fan of comedy. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. I watch stand-up comedy all the time and go see it all the time. And these are people too who are having a lot of action taken against them, and people boycotting them, writing angry letters, and trying to get their shows canceled, and saying, don't go see this guy, don't go see this girl because she's offensive and she uses languages I don't like. It's like, I feel like 20 years ago, if you found something you didn't like, it's like, just avoid it. But now it's, I found something I don't like, so I'm gonna try to get rid of it. I'm gonna try to destroy it. I'm gonna try to make it disappear from this world because I don't like it and I don't want anybody else to see it. And it's hurting artists, it's hurting comedians, it's hurting commentators, it's hurting cartoonists, obviously. I don't know, and people just need to chill out and, I don't know, grow a bigger backbone, I guess.
Basically. Listen, I don't like particular things, and so I avoid them. I don't go look at them. I don't go reading for them. Now you can read into many things and look into many things, and if you look hard enough, you will find something that offends you.
Absolutely.
But you know what? That's when you grow a spine, you grow a thicker skin, and you just let it go. You avoid what upsets you as much as you can. And other than that, live and let live. There's no point in this hard censorship that people keep pushing anymore.
Yeah, I do think this is a bit of a phase, though. Like, I heard something like this happened, I don't know, like 20 years ago, where there was a big thing about PC and, you can't say this, you can't say that. So maybe this is just the new wave of it. But I'm really hoping that with all this censorship and with all this offense being taken and with all this problematic language, that there's going to be some kind of pushback from the other side of people saying, just because you don't agree with something, that doesn't mean you need to try to get it censored. Just go support what you do like. Go support and, hang out with your friends and just, I don't know, get off the internet.
Yeah. I mean, find what you enjoy and stick with it. The biggest thing in my life is comics. That is the thing I love the absolute most, and that's what I focus on. I don't look for anything else, and I don't find anything in comics offensive. They go through some, doesn't matter what title, doesn't matter what genre, there's always something in there that might offend somebody, but it runs the gamut of human emotions and human life because that makes the best stories.
Absolutely.
And, okay, so I'm not big on romance. Never have been. I will occasionally read one nonetheless, just because maybe I like the art or maybe actually like that writer. But I usually avoid it, But that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and immediately say, no romance. I mean, get rid of all the romance novels, all the romantic... No, that shit's crap. That rots your brain, I've got studies that show it rots your brain. Let's get rid of it all. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just a part of the world. Okay. Religion, it's a part of the world. Okay. I don't really go discussing that with other people just because, that can get into really uncomfortable territory. And so I avoid it. I also avoid literature about it. News stories, things like that. I avoid it because I don't want to get upset. There's no point.
Yeah, but you're not going to go pick a fight with a religious person and tell them that their beliefs are wrong.
Exactly. A live and let live. You be a duck. Let the water roll off your back. Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Hey! Oh, good gravy. But especially with a lot of like female creators, I think they get a lot more of these restrictions more than the men.
What restrictions?
On like content in general that we can create. And that's why more, I think, at least I think, there are more female creators that go independent than go with any of the big companies.
Because we only make certain content, or?
No, because we keep getting restricted into certain categories of content, you know. Like, for instance, I know a number of people were, for a while, they're shopping around with some of the bigger guys, trying to publish a book on people of color, you know, little anthology comics.
Oh, okay.
You know, like about people of color, or some about women of color, or genderqueer comics, things like that. And a lot of the big guys were turning them down left and right.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
And so a lot of them went independent, and I say more power to them, honestly. Anymore, I almost don't think you need the big guys.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially, like, man, if you have something you're working on that you have poured your heart and soul into, and it's a good product, regardless of what publisher or name you kind of tag onto it, people are going to love it and they're going to consume it, and it's going to grow in popularity. You know, so a lot of people are realizing they don't need the big guys. I mean, there's tons of webcomic artists who just started from nothing and just started posting their work online, and now they're freaking huge. So, you know, you don't need to be Marvel or DC or Boom or whatever. You can just kind of do your own thing, which is really great these days.
Yeah, I think with the advent of the internet, it's pretty much gotten rid of that gatekeeper that is the big guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody already agrees upon that anyways now.
Well, what was I going to say? Oni Press was accepting submissions during June, I believe. And I tried to submit my little zine to it, and I really, really hope it gets picked up. But if not, you know, I'm just going to put it on Tumblr, and I'm sure it'll take off. Or at least get a bit of a fan base. That sounds really cocky, but I really hope people like it.
Well, if you get enough of a fan base, you can always set up a Kickstarter and get it published.
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, like Help Us Great Warrior was up on Tumblr there for quite a while. Madeline Flores.
Yes, love her.
Yeah, yes, very much so. She had it up there on Tumblr. It took off like a son of a bitch, and then Boom picked it up. So, I mean, you know, make it happen one way or another. That's what all these platforms are all about.
A question that tons and tons of young people ask is like basically, how do I break into comics, or how do I get my comic seen? The thing is, like, just make a comic. Just put it on the internet. Keep uploading, keep tweeting it, keep sharing it with your friends, and they'll gradually spread it around. You know, and in a couple years' time, or even less, you know, it could be huge. There's no kind of trick to it anymore. Like, you don't have to know somebody. You don't have to have, you know, somebody you're in cahoots with. You just need to put it out there.
Yeah. And it's okay that it's not good right away. In fact, give yourself the time to learn as you go. Just make certain you're investing time in it to be improving.
Yeah, absolutely. My boyfriend, he's been making this diary comic, and he's been working on it for like over a year, just uploading pages, working so hard on it, and nobody was seeing it. I guess nobody knew about his website. I mean, he had it, like, a few people were seeing it, but, and then like a month ago, he decided to put it on Imgur, and it blew the fuck up, and it was so excellent. So, your time will come, is basically what I'm saying. Because, like, he was putting so much effort into that, and it was, like, basically going nowhere in terms of viewership, but then it just exploded, and now he's got like people waiting for more pages, like getting messages and emails, like just excellent.
Yes, yes. I figure you just got to keep making it. Doesn't matter how good or bad it is. Just keep making. You'll learn. You'll grow.
Yeah, and even if it's crappy at the beginning, like you're gonna get better. No matter what happens, you're gonna get better as you go, even if you don't try to.
Yep, yep. I look at some of the earliest stuff of even the what you call the big greats like Schultz. Look at the very first Peanuts strip. Oh man, it looks nothing like his last one.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing like his last one. His designs are completely different. Yeah, if you ever get a chance, go Google it up, look it up. You can see a big difference. Hell, Scott Kurtz, on PvP, his first one, completely different from what's currently going. I mean, completely different. And that's okay. Things will get better. Your writing will get better. Your artwork will get better. Just got to keep making. That's, got to keep swimming. I mean, it sounds silly. It's the silliest phrase ever, keep swimming, from Little Nemo, but it's the truth.
Totally.
It never hurts to keep going. I mean, and you might not take off right away. It may take you a couple years before you take off.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Spike. She was talking on Twitter the other day about how basically it took her 10 years, almost, it was right at 10 years,
Whoa.
to actually get like fully noticed, and she's been getting, where she's steady and comfortable with her work.
Right. Now she's a freaking legend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's all sorts of stuff that she works on now. I know she's got another anthology or two coming out here pretty soon that she's been working on. Templar, Arizona is her one. Let's see what else. She's got a bunch.
I was the first one to buy Smut Peddler at TCAV 2014.
Nice.
That's a bit of trivia. And I was like, whoa, Smut Peddler. And she was like, yeah. And I got her to sign it and stuff. I was really excited.
Cool. No, I mean, some people, it takes a while before you get things built up, and that's okay. Love what you're doing enough, love you enough to do it. And don't worry about the fame, the fortune thing. Make it because you love it.
Who gets into comics for the money? It's all about the love.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. I mean, I'm absolutely obsessed. I don't know about you, but I cannot go a day without thinking about comics. Either writing or drawing something or doodling or, I mean, God, anything comics related.
It's your wheelhouse.
Oh, good gravy. But
I'm a bit art block now, but I'm at least looking at all my favorite websites every day and looking at comics and just being green with envy at how productive everybody is.
I've been I just give myself daily drawing goals, and it could be the absolute shittiest drawing of it, but I did it. I have found it keeps me out of any slumps like that. I have a monthly goal of filling up one moleskin a month.
Oh, those buggers are expensive.
Well, you can still get, cheap version. Heck, I found cheap version over at the dollar store. But, I mean, I hit a sale on these. I actually happened to be flying through this past, what was it, April. And one of the airports I was going through, in the bookstore there, they sold moleskins. And they were having a big sale because apparently they were overstocked and they weren't moving hardly at all. And so the manager literally had slashed them to almost 50% off. And so I have a giant stack of them right now. But that's only because I found a good deal on them. Most of the time, I've got really, really cheap, shitty notebooks. And that's okay, too. I mean, you know, you can make this on scratch paper if you want
Printer
to.
paper.
Yeah. Yeah, just make it on whatever you need to make it on. Just get it made.
As long as you're drawing.
Mm-hmm. But I've been trying to make literally something every day. And, you know, maybe by the end of the day, I'm pretty much worn out to nothing. But I still pick up a pen and do something, even if it's shit. Complete and utter crap. And that's okay. Because then
That's
I say,
awesome.
you know what? Yeah. No, I still congratulate myself and say, you know what? I made something today. Regardless, I made something today. And then the next day, usually 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I've got an idea. Let me get this down. Then I end up spending way too much time on it, but at the same time, it was good.
You're honing your craft.
Yes. I sure as heck hope so. So, do you work a day job or do you just strictly freelance?
I do half freelance and half working at a supermarket. But I'm really hoping that one day I'll just be doing freelance and that'll get me by financially. But right now it's a bit of a struggle.
I think it always is a bit of a struggle. It's just a balancing game, isn't it?
Yeah, freelance is really what's the word? Sporadic too. You know.
Yeah.
This time last year I was like rolling in work, and now it's a bit slow.
Yeah. Yep. You got your ups and your downs with it. Like my day job, I work at a big box store. I will not mention the name just so we don't have to deal with any bullshit on that part. But I work over in the lumber and building materials section of said big box store.
Oh, okay.
And that's a lot of hard work chucking concrete and boards all day.
Keeps you fit at least.
Yep.
When you get home, do you have any energy to create?
Actually, yeah, I'm revved up by then.
Got all the
Because
hormones going.
Yeah. Well, I go into work at about 5 in the morning. I leave my house at 5, so I'm there by about 5:30.
Whoa.
And so I'm off by like 2, 3 in the afternoon from the day job. So then I crank the air conditioning up because it's usually like right around 100 degrees outside. And go, air conditioning, hello. And grab a pen and get to town if I can convince myself to do it. Or if I really hit that full exhaustion point of, I just chucked 5 full pallets, which is over 150 bags of concrete today. I think I'm going to go die for a while. Yes.
You're allowed.
But to each their own. Day job pays the bills.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people just need that little cushion.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to save out of my day jobs, fun that comes in all I can. Eventually, I want to quit the day job and just freelance in comics, but
yeah, keep saving. How do you feel about Patreon?
Patreon, I like the idea of it, but you have to have a good audience, built up by the time you launch one.
Yeah.
So if you're making steady content and you're getting a steady amount of comments coming in and you know, if enough people start mentioning it, then I would go ahead and set up a Patreon and see how it goes.
Mm.
But that's just me. You know, I've seen a couple people launch a Patreon and only get like $10 a month.
Yeah, I've considered doing a Patreon, but then I'd be really embarrassed if nobody if nobody wanted to back me or whatever. And also,
Right.
my comic making isn't as steady as I'd like it to be, so I'd feel guilty if I went like a couple of weeks without producing anything. Because I think like, oh no, these people are paying for this.
Well, have you thought about setting yourself up a better schedule? Do you have a steady type schedule with your day job? Or is it kind of
It's not a
sporadic?
time issue. It's more of just my mood. I know that sounds really snooty, but like all my artist friends just constantly create, but me is just kind of comes and goes.
I found giving myself a steady schedule kills that, and I'm able to create more.
Really?
Hmm. I would suggest just, you know, as a friend here, that, you know, maybe give yourself a steady schedule. Try it for 3 months, you know? And it doesn't have to be a hardcore schedule. Just say, okay, I go from work from, you know, like I said, my schedule is Monday through Friday. I am at work at about 5:30 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. When I get off work and come home, it's about 3:30, and I give myself that extra half hour till 4. You know, any household chores that might need done. I've got dogs and cats, you know, check on them, food and water, maybe walk the dogs a little bit, that sort of thing. Give myself a time to get a sandwich, and for at least the next 2 hours, I need to be working on something, comics, writing related, or if I've been taking online Skillshare classes. So I might designate one day out of that week for Skillshare class, you know.
You're very disciplined.
I try to be, just because I know me, and I know I'll just go, oh, look, YouTube.
5 hours gone.
Yes, 5 hours gone, and then you're like, wait a minute, it's 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to watch more YouTube. I'm actually pretty disciplined about going to bed right around the same time, too. So that way I get plenty of rest. I'm not doing the ass drag the next day. And I know some people think, oh, you don't give yourself enough leeway in there, but no, there's actually plenty of space in there for leeway. So if I had like a really good day, let's say Monday, you know, tomorrow Monday, I come home, I get all my chore part done, I sit down at about 4 o'clock, and I put my nose to the grindstone, and I produce. And I mean, I do a really good thing of producing. And I'll set myself a little timer just so I don't go over, you know. And if my timer goes off and I check, and depending upon how much progress I've gotten on my projects, I may give myself the next day off. Or if I give myself a day off, so to speak, I'm then reading or something like that, you know.
So you're still doing something that's kind of work related.
Yes, it's still work related, but it's a different aspect. So I'm not always doing the same thing and burning myself out, because I think sometimes block comes in when you're burnt out.
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody, let's see, who was it? Oh, it was Anne Lamott in Bird by Bird. I was reading it the other day. She talks about filling up. You know, we're creative people. We're constantly creating. And she's a writer. But she talks about needing to fill the creative tank, because you're using everything in your tank to create at that particular moment. Don't hold back. Go ahead and use up the whole tank, because you can always refill it again.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
if you're burnt out, go fill your tank up. You know, give yourself a day or two to go fill your tank up, and then see what happens after that. Try to produce something. And yes, some of it's going to be crap. Nobody needs to see the first draft or two of whatever you're making, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So don't worry about that. Don't worry about being perfection right away. You know, it's you don't have to share it at all.
Yeah, I don't think I like just goof around and doodle enough. Like usually when I draw and I make a piece, like it's almost like I already have that piece in my mind ready to go. I think I should just like dig around more and just doodle and kind of have fun with it because that's kind of gone away, which makes me a bit sad. Um, I'm also
Have you tried different types of doodling?
I just doodle with a pencil or a brush and ink.
Well, I mean, there's different ways to doodle. I mean, you know, you can just be sitting there and trying to draw something that's right in your mind right then and there. Or there is what I call blind doodling, which means you stare at like an object or a person and you put pen to paper, but you don't look at the paper. You don't look at your pen. You just keep staring at the person and, you know, kind of try to trace their outline just with your eyes and your hand going at the same time.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, yeah, you know, it's just a way to kind of get your hand moving, free you up. Another one is there's this artist over in New York. He does a lot of these, and they're continuous line drawing. And he'll just do swirls and rounds, and maybe you'll start seeing a hand here or there. And he'll link it to a head, but I mean, it's all the same line, and it'll just
But the
keep
pen never leaves the
going.
paper.
Yep, pen never leaves the paper until he finally kind of completes that. And I mean, he'll be turning the paper all the way around as he's going, you know, in this way and that way. And then when he finally kind of comes to the end and kind of connects it back, then he'll go back in the middle and fill in spots, you know, give eyes, maybe add some more details after that.
Right.
And it's just a different way to doodle. It's a different way to draw. It just, you know, expands your mind out, frees you up.
Yeah, I think I just need to loosen up a bit more. Like not everything, like I have pressure on me to keep putting stuff online, you know, week after week. But then like when I'm art block like I am now and I don't produce anything for like a month, like I feel pressure to put something online. But when I feel pressure to draw, that's almost when I can't I can't draw as well as I normally can. Like I draw the best when I'm totally relaxed, when everything in my life is kind of like as it should be, um, and I have like my little schedule that I do, and then I'm just relaxed and I draw. That's when I produce my best work. But if something, like for example, I just moved into a new place, so it's almost like my life has been uprooted a bit. So I feel now like I almost have to get back into a flow or a schedule and before like have my life settle down a bit before I can. Also, it's really hot right now in Toronto. It's hot as a motherfucker. It's like 30 degrees and I'm drawing and my hand is like sweaty and it's like smudging the ink, so that's really gross. But I'm gonna go to a coffee shop tomorrow and draw.
There you go.
It's
There you
nice and
go.
cool.
Yes, yes. Borrow their air conditioning for a little while. But you know, maybe try some different methods of drawing just to free you up. And if you're okay with putting them online, then make those just what you put online. Don't worry about it being perfection. You know? Just,
Yeah.
you know,
Lighten up a bit.
you know, it's okay to be serious about some things, especially when you want it to start turning out good. The one I was showing you earlier, my little watercolor ghost. Everybody can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I saw that on your Facebook.
Yeah, that's taken me 7 tries to make because I kept fucking it up. And at the same time, that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
You know, that I consider the early ones just more practice with making brush strokes and making marks and using the color and just becoming more familiar with watercolors. I love watercolors. God, I love watercolors.
And like everything in watercolor is so fun too because there's so many like little things, little techniques you can do. Like you know, when I first started watercolor, I was so shit at blending. Like, I couldn't get it to blend at all. But like with time, you learn just little tricks, and it gets easier as you go along. But yeah, that's like
I love playing with salt, like rock salt,
yes,
or saran wrap.
saran wrap.
Oh yes, yes. You haven't played with saran wrap yet?
Does it make an effect?
Yes, it does. Go bust out your watercolors when you get a chance. Just make yourself a single pool of color. You know, make you a circle. You know, make you one big pool of color. Take a piece of saran wrap, kind of mush it up a little bit. You know, crinkle it up. Press it into the watercolor and let it dry. Then
Really?
peel it off. Then peel it off when it's dry. You'll see all sorts of fun effects there. I love using it, especially for backgrounds, you know, in pieces.
It just a cool texture.
Yeah, it gives it a weird blocky texture in the background, and then I'll go through and outline some of those blocks and kind of make them look like crystals or something. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, I like dripping watercolor or dripping water on it too when it's like almost dry, and it creates like it spreads out and does that like anemone effect.
Yes. Or just making it run. I love runny kind of water effects, you know. And then making universes. Yes. I really have so much fun with watercolors, and then getting to go back through after it's dry with like pens, different colored pens, and ink, and just so much fun. Make such cool stuff. And that's some of the differences between digital and traditional. You can get messy and really into it, but you get such cool effects and just differences with traditional that you cannot replicate with digital, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, gosh, there's all sorts of things you can do with watercolor that I've never been able to replicate in digital, at least not yet. You never know when that'll happen.
Yeah, they're getting better all the time. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Eventually.
Have you talked to Jamie lately?
He is working his butt off. He got himself a day job, and it's got really weird hours. So he's kind of had to put a lot of his comics on hiatus, or just a real slow schedule lately.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, kind of sucks. Oh, and preview for everybody. Our next podcast will be an interview with Abaddon of Kill 6 Billion Demons.
Cool.
I just got an email from him today, and we're setting up a day and time for an interview. So it'll be great. It honestly will.
Stay tuned.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun.
I want to move to LA and hang out with Jamie and those comic snobs. Oh, that would be the best.
I want to at least go visit and poke everybody and go, hi, bye. Hello. Yes, look, I'm going to go back to the desert. I'm an introvert. Hi.
That's what you do.
Pretty much. I'm like, hi. Okay, I'm going to go away now.
Oh, I finally met Frank and Becky. They were so nice.
Aw, cool.
Becky's the sweetest ever. She's just like this little cute, quiet, mimbly girl. She's so sweet. And her art is like phenomenal. Like, I don't know why she's not a millionaire right now. And Frank is a doll. Yeah, I'm excited. And they give me a print. Cute or what?
Aww, that is adorable.
I got it on my wall.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Have you recently?
No, not recently. I'm saving up to move to Houston.
Oh, okay. Do they have a
Yeah.
comic scene?
I found a small one over there. I'm just getting, kind of in contact with a couple people over there right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, good luck with it.
Well, it is a bigger city, so there should be some form of a scene over there, at least better than where I'm at right now.
Is that where your boyfriend lives?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yep, I'm going to move in with my sweetums.
Aw, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to try this again. We're on and off for a number of years now, so yeah.
Oh.
The
Is he artsy
the art,
fartsy at all?
huh?
Is he artsy fartsy at all?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. His art is more surrealism. He likes drawing and painting, mostly the female form, and these really cool, almost triptych-esque pieces. He's done threes, and then he'll do these odd patterns, and I mean, it's really trippy.
Is this stuff online?
No, not yet. That's what I was going to help him do, is put it online when I get moved over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll have to plug him for sure.
Definitely. He is a fan of comics, but he is more of a fan of video games. He is a huge gamer.
Oh, yeah?
He's got a dedicated room to gaming.
How does he feel about Gamergate?
He basically says it's a bunch of horseshit, It's basically a giant pile of drama and horseshit anymore.
It is full of drama.
He and I agree, there's a certain level of feminism that is always needed in any society, in any culture, and anything, but there's a certain level it should go to. I mean, you should be allowed freedom to make what you want.
But not the freedom to take away.
Mm-hmm. That's damn straight.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of women in gaming, and I'm an even bigger fan of women in comics. But I don't know. I'm gonna start my own feminism. I have my own brand of feminism that I follow.
I think we all do, I mean, I believe in equality for everybody, regardless of if you're a woman, man, or, I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, how you identify yourself.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have representation, if you're any particular gender, any particular sexual orientation, anything, and
Mm-hmm.
culture and comics and writing, etc. But you shouldn't demand it. If you want it, go create it. Go put it out there. Go make it.
This is like the cheesiest quote in the world, but be the change you want to see in the world.
It's the truth. If you want representation in games, go make them. I know it's hard. Who said it was going to be easy? I mean, honestly, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's one of those things. Creating in general is hard. It's exceptionally hard. Don't let anybody doubt that at all. Creating is one of the hardest things you can do, because you are taking from your own experiences, you're taking from your own skill set as best as you can, and mashing that all together and forming it into whatever it is you want to create. I'm funneling this into writing and drawing.
Mm.
You could be funneling this into any number of things, making movies, making music. I mean, that's what you're doing. And if you want representation of anything, go make it. Don't just demand it and then expect other people to make it. Although it is nice, companies do like if you write them letters, polite ones.
Yes.
Polite ones about, I would like to see more women in your video games.
Yeah, and they're starting to listen. Absolutely, the big companies are realizing that women are a huge part of gaming, and they're important consumers. And they're starting to listen. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but I think they've made great strides.
Definitely.
And I have so much respect for anybody who is a creator. I don't care what they're creating, even if they're creating something that I don't agree with. If you are making a video series, a comic book, a movie, a video game, I am so in awe of creators, and I totally give them my full respect. And I'm really proud of whoever gets off their butt and creates something.
It's exceptionally hard. It takes a lot to create. It really does. And how much or how little you make. Like I said, some days I make absolute crap little pen doodles, and that's it. And that's okay. I still made something.
Yeah.
You don't doubt that you're making things. Okay, so that day you didn't make as much or as well as you would like, but there's the next day. Try again.
Yeah. And I have a crisis too sometimes of like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, does anybody really want to hear about my dumb life? Like, why am I making comics? But I'm starting to branch out now into making fictional stories and stuff like that. So I'm creating stuff that I'm proud of. I'm starting to. But that's what I want most of all. Like, that's my freaking, like, dream in my life, is to make content that I feel proud of. That I feel proud of, like, putting my name on.
Yep.
And as a side note, I don't want respect in comics just because I'm a woman. I want respect in comics, and I want people to enjoy my content and enjoy my comics because they like it and because it's good content, hopefully. Sorry, that's just a side note. That's just like one of my pet peeves.
Well, comics industry in general is finally evolving, you could say, to the point where not only is it recognizing who is making it, but why they're making it. And they're realizing more and more that not only the gender, it doesn't matter anymore.
No.
It's not a novelty anymore to have a female creator or a female writer.
No.
They're just another person.
No.
Just make certain their name is on everything. Give them attribution. Give them the credit they deserve. I get really frustrated at these cons, the panels that put up, these great women in comics. No, that's just another set of creators. Don't say women in comics.
Yeah. And women are killing it in comics right now. Look at like Ginger Hayes and Kate Less and like, all these fantastic creators. Like, I don't think bigger ups. I don't think comic publishers are sitting there going, "Whoa, this story is fantastic and the art is phenomenal," but I don't know, it's written by a woman. Like, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah,
women are in the marketplace, and they're being heard, and they're having their talent recognized.
Well, anymore, 50 to 60% of your market is female. So don't try to cater to them per se. Just recognize they're there. Don't make completely and utterly misogynistic comics. Make your superhero titles, but then go ahead and make something else. Hire a Ginger Hayes, hire a Kate Leth. Hire them to go ahead and make content too. So that way you get another part of the spectrum.
Yeah, you get a balance of it. And on the same token, I can't stand just comics where women are just these scrawny, boobylicious, sex kittens. I can't stand that too. But as long as there's a balance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that there. I'm not going to buy them. But know that if you're as a company and that's all you're making, you just lost somebody that has spendable income, you know? Go ahead and expand enough of your company out to at least accept a couple other titles that are maybe on another part of the whole genre that is comics. Well, I think that's been long enough, don't you?
Yeah, it's 10 after 11. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, me too. I think we've done this late enough here. Anyways, guys, well, thanks so much for hanging out in the bitch and bullshit session of episode 31. We hope to see you again next month when we interview Abaddon of Kill 6 Billion Demons. So, see you then. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining me tonight.
Thanks, guys. Go pick up Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy.
Woohoo! Alright, guys, this is Melony of ornamentalcomic.com. With me tonight, Kelly of moosekleenex.tumblr.com. You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Excuse me.